Israel may soon exempt foreign residents from paying taxes on income obtained from the sale of cryptocurrency assets. In a preliminary vote last week, the Knesset approved a legislative amendment to eliminate taxation on crypto, blockchain, and Web3 companies. Now, the law is intended to draw cryptocurrency investors and companies to Israel to support the economy after seeing the full potential of the industry abroad. And joining me now is Likud Knesset member Dan Illouz. Thank you very much for joining me. You actually introduced the measure.
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about the current regulations for cryptocurrency here in Israel and why it isn't conducive for foreign investment.
So when we're talking about cryptocurrency, we need to separate two different topics. One is the actual tokens, the actual currency that some people invest in, some people use it as currency. That's not so much what I am talking about. We're talking about companies that are developing technology which has to do with the cryptocurrency world. And in these companies, there has been a regulation. It's really a discrimination of these companies compared to other high-tech companies that exist in Israel, where some of the benefits that high-tech companies get within Israel, including tax breaks on foreign investment or tax breaks on options that are given to workers, weren't available to cryptocurrency companies simply because they do business a little bit differently. And instead of giving stocks, they gave currency. And so my legislation is meant to change that in order for that discrimination to stop and for Israel to be a market which is very attractive to investment in cryptocurrency companies, for us to grow. I believe that Israel can be in the front lines of the financial sector, of the new financial sector, which is developing nowadays. There's a lot of countries that want to be on these front lines, that are investing a lot in order to be in these front lines. We in Israel, we have a lot of competitive advantages with our understanding and technology, with our very strong innovation. The financial world was always a field which was harder for Israel to get into, but thanks to this new technology, I think that we can really have a competitive advantage. And I want to be sure that we can facilitate investment and facilitate doing business in this sector.
Right. So what's the next step here?
So the next step in the legislation is we just got preliminary reading. We'll get into discussions within the committees in the Knesset, and afterwards we'll bring up the legislation for two additional rounds of votes. It's 4 votes total. One just happened, then there's another one, and then there's 2 that come together. And that should happen in the next few months. However, there's also an option to fast track this. We're currently in discussions with the Ministry of Finance.
What do you hope to achieve with this legislation, looking at the wider picture here?
The wider picture is very clear to me. I want Israel to get to the front lines of the financial world, to compete with New York, with London, with all of the big financial cities all around the world. We have been very good in high tech. We have been good in food tech, in cybersecurity. But when it comes to financial sectors, Tel Aviv and Jerusalem weren't in the front lines, weren't the top cities in the world yet. But I think that now with this new technology, which is becoming so significant in financial sectors, then we have a real opportunity, and I want to make sure that we grab it.
Why do you think it is that Israel has lagged behind when it comes to cryptocurrency technology?
So not necessarily cryptocurrency. When I was talking about lagging behind, I was talking about the financial sector in general, where people use banks more in London and New York. There's something very conservative about traditional banking, and Israel is a very dynamic and innovative country. And so now I think that the financial sectors are embracing this innovation and this dynamic nature. And that's why I see an opportunity, again, for Israel to be in the front lines.